Let's talk about something the algorithm doesn't want you to figure out. Because there are two types of streamers on Twitch right now. There's the person with 50,000 concurrent viewers, a full production team, a lighting rig that probably costs more than your car, and the dead eyes of someone who hasn't genuinely laughed on stream in 8 months. And then there's the person with 47 viewers, some guy named Crunchyroll Fan who goes live every Tuesday and Thursday from his bedroom and is having the absolute time of his life. And somehow, inexplicably, Crunchyroll Fan is winning. Let me explain. So when most people think about streaming, they think about the dream. You go live, clip goes viral, Ninja DMs you, sponsorships roll in, you're on a panel at TwitchCon. Life is good. And look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that success is bad. That would be insane. But there's a version of making it that nobody's being honest about, and it has a very specific texture. It looks like checking your viewer count every 4 minutes. It looks like spending 3 hours after stream reading every comment thread trying to figure out why you dropped 200 viewers during the second hour. It looks like scripting your authentic personality because your editor told you that your unscripted authentic personality doesn't retain audience. It looks like playing a game you genuinely hate because it's got 40,000 people browsing the category and you need the discoverability. That's not a career, that's a performance review that never ends. Here's what the small streamer has that the big streamer quietly mourns. A real chat. When you have 50 viewers, you know their names. Not in a I've been briefed by my mod team kind of way. You actually know them. You know that Maple Syrup King lives in Winnipeg and has been going through a rough year. You know that XX Dark Soul XX is actually a 34-year-old accountant named Derek who just needed somewhere to talk about video games after work. You know that one person who never types but has been in every single stream for 6 months straight. And honestly, that silent loyalty hits different. When you have 50,000 viewers, chat is a wall of text moving so fast it might as well be the Matrix. You can't read it, you can't respond to it. Moderators are banning people faster than you can blink. Someone's getting clipped out of context. You're not talking to an audience anymore. You're performing at one. There's also this thing that happens to big streamers that I think about a lot, and it's the identity compression problem. When you're small, you stream whatever you want. You play weird indie games. You do cooking streams. You go on a 45-minute rant about the lore of a show that 3 people in your chat have seen. You are yourself fully without consequences because your audience showed up specifically for the unfiltered version of you. When you get big, you become a brand. And brands don't get to have bad days. Brands don't get to be weird. Brands don't pivot to a new game without their fan base leaving a 3-paragraph comment about how they used to be better. You boxed yourself in with your own success, and now the box has a sponsorship deal and you need to hit certain numbers or you lose it. The small streamer logs off when they're tired. The big streamer has a streaming schedule that their business manager made in a Google Sheet. Now, I want to be fair here, because this isn't a success, bad, small, good manifesto. It's more complicated than that. A lot of small streamers are also miserable, but for a completely different reason. They're miserable because they're chasing the 50,000, they're grinding for 3 years, going live 6 days a week, optimizing their thumbnails, posting TikTok clips, and every single month the numbers just kind of stay the same. And that particular flavor of suffering, the one where you're working really hard and it's still not working, is brutal in its own specific way. The streamers who are actually genuinely happy, they made a quiet decision at some point. Maybe they made it consciously, maybe it just snuck up on them, but at some point they decided that the 47 people, the inside jokes, the chat that actually responds, this is the thing, not like the stepping stone to the thing, the actual thing. And once you make that switch, everything changes. There's research on this actually, and it tracks perfectly. Psychologists talk about something called the paradox of choice, the idea that more options, more scale, more reach doesn't make you happier. It just gives you more things to lose, more metrics to be disappointed by, more variables outside your control. The small streamer controls almost everything in their stream. The vibe, the game, the energy, when they start, when they end. The big streamer controls almost nothing. Their audience controls them. Their sponsors control them. The algorithm controls them. They're essentially a contractor for a company called their own channel. And here's the part that nobody says out loud. A lot of the biggest streamers, the ones you're watching and thinking, I want that. A significant number of them would kill to go back. Not to being broke, not to zero, but to that specific era before it became a job. When streaming was still the thing they did because it was fun and weird and nobody was watching and they could just be. So what's the actual takeaway here? It's not don't grow, Growth is fine. Growth can be great. But if you're streaming right now, especially if you're in that early phase and you find yourself dreading going live or resenting your viewers or calculating whether this is worth it based on numbers, that's a sign. The happiest streamers I've ever seen are the ones where you stumble onto their channel at 11 p.m. and it's 60 people deep into an inside joke that started 3 weeks ago. And the streamer is losing it laughing and nobody's clipping it for content. And it's just people having fun together online in real time. That's actually rare. That's actually hard to manufacture at scale. And in a weird way, that's actually the whole point, son.